is to blame for Kevin Durant's injury? That's the answer. Everybody wants to know what is going on. Y'all, 5 Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NBA. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe by clicking the button down below and turning on my post notifications, and follow me on my social media links down below for that. With that being said, I have a lot to talk about with this KD situation. Who's to blame, whether it's the Warriors, whether it's Kevin Durant himself, or somebody else, and how this affects NBA free agency this summer and KD's career basically moving forward. So I'm going to get into all that right now. So you want to know how many people I blame for the Kevin Durant injury? Here it is. Yep. I blame 0 people, which means I blame nobody. I know it's not the sexy answer. I know it's not the controversial answer, but it's the answer that's the truth. It's the answer that I'm most comfortable saying because I believe it, and that is I don't blame anybody. I don't blame Kevin Durant. I don't blame the Golden State Warriors, okay? Let's just address this from the Warriors' perspective first and foremost, because they're getting absolutely grilled and flamed by, the fans, the media in general, about forcing Kevin Durant to play. And here's my thing. I 1000% believe the Warriors would not put Kevin Durant out there unless he was cleared by doctors. So that's one thing. Now, fans or media or whoever else can make the argument, these are team doctors. And of course, they're going to be on the side of the Warriors for them to play. And here's the thing. These circumstances matter here, because if the Warriors are up 3-1, absolutely Kevin Durant doesn't play. I agree with you, okay? But is that being hypocritical at this point because the Warriors were down 3-1? I don't believe so. Because why? Because of the circumstances. If this is the first round, second round, conference finals, KD's not playing. But we are literally talking about the Warriors holding out Kevin Durant until they absolutely could not, which is what? Game 5 of the NBA Finals, down 3-1, elimination game, basically win or go home, season on the line. And Kevin Durant plays, puts up 11 points. They win by 1 freaking point. What does that tell you? Those 11 points meant something, and that's how Golden State was able to win. Now, again, the question could be, are you sacrificing Kevin Durant for a chance at a championship? No, because nobody could have predicted that Kevin Durant would get hurt, okay? Injuries happen in sports, and again, a lot of people are saying nobody put a gun to KD's head and made him play. That is also true. You can make that argument. That's why I'm saying I don't believe it is anybody's fault. I believe every athlete deals with injuries in different ways. Kawhi Leonard obviously was not comfortable with his injury at the time, and no matter what the Spurs organization said to him, and I don't blame the Spurs at all either, he didn't feel comfortable. And if Kevin Durant had felt that way and he wanted to sit out, he would have been in his right, okay? That is the thing here. But to me, the stakes being on the line do play a part in this. We play, or I should say we athletes play for a championship. This is what it's all about. This is why you go out there. So every athlete wants a chance to play for a championship, in the championship game of that sport that they are playing in. And I don't blame Kevin Durant for wanting to be out there and prove it to his guys and his team that he's there with them, okay? And we clearly saw it made a difference. So to me, I don't blame anybody. Let's talk real quick about this moving forward, what this injury is going to mean for free agency and whatnot. First and foremost, I don't believe Kevin Durant is losing any money with this next contract, okay? What I mean by that is Kevin Durant is going to get the max from every team in the league, okay? If he wants to, he'll get the max from every team in the league. I don't believe this Achilles injury, even though it's very, very significant, will keep any team from offering him the max. I can already tell you the Warriors would probably offer him the max on the plane ride home from Toronto, okay? Plus, he's got a player option next year of about $31 million. So if he wants to, guarantee himself some security, he could exercise that player option, get himself healthy, and then enter free agency again next year. So to me, I don't believe Kevin Durant has lost any money this immediate contract. The next contract after this, depending on how KD recovers from this injury, and it's a devastating injury, that's where he could have potentially lost some money, because again, we're talking about the peak prime of his career, and if Kevin Durant comes back and he's not the same player, or he's a lesser version of KD of what we remember, then certainly, his next salary or his next contract might get compromised. So that is where I do think it affects it. But again, that is probably 4 or 5 years down the line. I'm talking about right now. I don't believe Kevin Durant's contract will be affected one bit from this injury. I think every team will give him the money. Now, as far as the other free agents, I do think there's an impact here because I think the other free agents that were hoping to team up with KD, like a Kyrie Irving, maybe like a Jimmy Butler, maybe like a Kemba Walker, I think they think twice now because of the fact that essentially all of next season is gone. Kevin Durant, at best case, probably comes back end of next season. And at that point, you need the team to be good enough to make the playoffs without KD, okay? And that's where the Warriors are now going to have the advantage because if he decides to come back, they can just tell him to rest up because obviously the Warriors are still a top 3 team in the Western Conference without Kevin Durant, and they'll be able to wait for him until he makes his return, and he'll be able to rehab properly and do all of that. So to me, that's the advantage now the Warriors will have, and I wouldn't blame KD at all if he decides to return to the Warriors at this point. I really wouldn't. But the other teams won't have that advantage because whoever decided or wanted to team up with Kevin Durant is now going to have to think, that first year is going to be compromised because KD will not be ready. So again, I do think that is going to be an impact in free agency for sure. Right now, my gut tells me KD probably returns to Golden State, but again, that could change. I'll obviously post videos about free agency coming up. But point being is, I just want to get a couple things straight. Nobody's to blame for this injury. Injuries happen. I've seen it, with me being a Bulls fan with Derrick Rose, and a lot of people wanted to blame, the Bulls organization for, treating Derrick Rose's injury and forcing him to come back. I don't blame anybody. Number 2, I don't believe KD's going to be compromised monetarily, at least in the short term, perhaps in the long term. And I do think this is going to have an effect on other free agents in the league. And I do think this is going to incline KD more so to return to Golden State than before the injury. So let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below if you agree with me or disagree with me. Who do you blame? How does this affect free agency? Do you think Kevin Durant's going to be compromised monetarily? Leave a comment down below. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Thanks for watching.